Greetings and salutations to everyone. I am Celestial Saturn and I'm back with Touchstarved. Um, while recording and editing the last one, I noticed that my voice was like super low in the last recording because I was adjusting my microphone so I wouldn't sound too overbearing in a lot of the videos. Because I've noticed, especially when I was playing them back, that my voice was kind of overbearing. So I'm kind of sorry for that. But due to time constraints and a lot of outside forces, I didn't really have too much time to go back and re-record it. So honestly and sadly, it is what it is. And I'm sorry if you can't hear my voice. But it's what I get for waiting till the last moment to do these kind of things. But we're going to continue on. And continue. Okay, so we were talking with Karas, and he was delving a little bit more into how he knows what's going on in the Cenobium. So far, I can just deduce that he was at least a part of the Cenobium at one point. Which, again, is a very interesting little tidbit. So, now I'm getting somewhere. Something beyond the vague warnings or swift deflections, I decide to press the point while I have the chance. And if you ever notice, like, it's a point and click for some reason. I can't really just like click keys to do anything, because I've tried and that kind of messed me up a couple of times, which I had to re-record on anyways. So I'm sorry if you can hear the clicking, because I've been trying to finagle my microphone not to do that. Familiar how? Kira stops right in front of a display of pickled fruits, and I nearly run into his back. He steps aside at the last moment. His arm rests gently but firmly on my waist. I tense, but he's careful to avoid my bandaged hands. Our pursuer refuses to take no for an answer. Screw everything else, I want his outfit. Them again? I thought we lost them in the crowd. I crane my neck to look for the cleric, but Karaj shakes his head. This way. You're avoiding. The next street over seems to be home to the high-end brothels. It's full of steep stairways and shadowy passages, perfect for discreet little trysts or losing a persistent tail. Pink curtains and painted facades sprawl around me like a giant colorful warren. It only takes a few more twists and turns down blind alleys and narrow walkways before I'm completely turned around. Kraz, however, seems to be following some map in his own mind. He takes each turn with swift confidence, guiding me with the occasional nudge. The gaps between the teetering buildings can hardly be called alleys. So narrow, we have to pass through single file. Just a little further. The effortless grace with which he moves is almost infuriating. It takes every ounce of concentration I have to just avoid tripping over loose tiles, discarded cloths, and unidentifiable rubbish. Or at least rubbish I don't want to identify. Meanwhile, his long legs almost seem to float over every obstacle. His clothes are still completely pristine despite the soot-stained walls on either side. How the hell does he do it? Is some sort of enchantment woven into his jacket? A glamour spell? I'm still trying to puzzle it out when I realize how warm it is, with me practically tripping on his heels. The tiny gap between us seems to radiate heat, like beating midday sun on the longest day of summer. I'll stay close. I definitely don't want to get lost here. I stay as close to Cross as I can without actually touching him. I promise I will not lose you. Was I that obvious? Our eyes meet, and despite my best efforts, I find it hard to hold his gaze. I mean, them eyes be glowing. You get lost in them things. I've never seen eyes like his. Oh, and I knew she was gonna go about that. Despite our dark and dingy surroundings, it's like Cross radiates his own light whenever he looks at me. Thank you for indulging me, Saturn. I believe we lost our tail. It's much quieter on the edges of the Amaryllis district, and the deals in the shadows look shadier. Did you enjoy your impromptu tour? Relief escapes me in a tired laugh. After the day I've had, playing keep away from a Cenobium cleric seems almost normal. I wasn't in the mortal peril, so that's a nice change of pace. He laughs too, a soft and pleasant chuckle, complete at odds with his usual cool demeanor. Are you sure we've lost that cleric? If there's one thing you can count on, is the elitism of the Cenobium's finest. I am tripping over all of these words. They will not deign to follow us this far. He sounds confident enough. I was starting to wonder if we would make it a full circuit of the city to ditch them. A beam of moonlight cuts through the clouds, casting his face into sharp relief. However, I should escort you back to your lodgings. It would be unwise to let you go alone. What about you? Are you staying at the Wet Wick? Of course not. Then you're going back to your clinic alone. You just said that was a bad idea. He pauses, stares at me, and then his expression relaxes into a gentle smile. Fear not, Saturn. Not only the most desperate or foolish would dare lay a hand on me. It sounds insane after 2 near-death soulless encounters, but part of me believes him. A few people who are still out huddle beneath street lamps and in doorways, desperate to be as close to safety as possible. Man, this town just sucks. Karas, on the other hand, looks more relaxed than I've ever seen him. He's strolling down the middle of the street, bold as if it were broad daylight. Even walking alongside him makes me feel more secure. Warmer both inside and out. I hang on to that faint spark of hope and screw up my courage. Did you mean it this morning? When you said I could come back to you for help? Every word. All his earlier mirth vanishes, replaced by calm focus. I don't know what to say to that. I almost expected his offer to be courtesy, an easy way to get me out the door. The fact that he meant it... Why do you ask? I believe I've already made my intention to help you quite clear. His eyes flick briefly to my arm, the one that he miraculously reattached when he found me. I can almost imagine him counting the neat stitches. I just wanted to make certain. I'm still figuring out who's trustworthy and who's trouble. I see. Erida does tend to attract extreme individuals. Including you? Ah, Saturn, I decline to incriminate myself in your eyes. I can recognize a smooth deflection when I hear one. Though if he won't talk more about himself, maybe he'll tell me about someone else. I decide to ask about... Ah, yes, they're all quite mysterious. I want to learn about men on my own, though. I want to know about Sea Spring Man. Have you ever been out to see ice at the Sea Spring? Once. Only once? It seems like a spring with miraculous powers would interest a doctor. A long silence follows, so long that I'm not sure Karas heard me. I'm about to repeat myself when he finally speaks in a near whisper. Ice is the rare newcomer who has proven himself immediately worthy of respect. The sea spring is another matter. Hidden depths often contain unwelcome secrets. You can say that about anything around here. A fair point, nonetheless. I have seen many purported wonders, and the sea spring is unlike any other. Only time will tell what that means. Oh, I can talk about everybody? Alright, what about Veer? How do you know him? Cross visibly stiffens, and I remember the venom in Veer's voice when he grabbed me. That fucking doctor. It looks like the feeling is very much mutual. Regrettably, Veer is one of the worst patients. How did you cross his path? He stole my room key. You are fortunate that he did nothing else. He is far deadlier than he seems. There's a reason. Oops. I double-clicked again. He seemed pretty dodgy to me already. I hesitate, waiting for Cross to elaborate, but he seems to find even the thought of Veer distasteful. Alright, Leander. Why'd you send me to Leander for help? Few know Erida better than Leander. And the company he keeps can be questionable, but I had confidence in him. Yeah, his bloodhounds seemed rough around the edges. Leander has always preferred the company of those like him. Survivors of Lowtown's harsh realities, you must have noticed how they flocked to him. I nod. He seemed to know every single person in the Wetwick. And that's a good thing? Leander's closest peers trust him with their lives. I would say that counts for something. Alright, tell me about Min. You and Min sounded like you knew each other well. Cross heaves a long-suffering sigh. I know them better than most, and less, well, than I like. Like you, Min is a recent arrival. Their time here has been particularly difficult. As much as I would like to help. He trails off, but I know exactly what he's talking about. Min didn't seem like the sort of person who would accept help easily. Do they always pick fights that are twice their size? I have implored them not to. They rarely listen. With my curiosity sated for now, I fall silent. I wish Cross had given me just a little more to go on, but he seems almost as tight-lipped about the others as he is about himself. By the time we're back at the Wetwick, the Amaryllis district seems even noisier and more raucous than before. Drunken patrons overflow into the streets, which reek of spilt wine. How am I supposed to sleep with all this racket? I suggest the stiffest drink at the bar. Alternatively, a ball of wax. Very funny. Even with how tired I am, I'm not sure I'll get a wink of sleep. I'm about to say goodnight to Cross when someone staggers out of the Wetwick and rat into me. I stumble back, heels teetering on the edge of the filthy gutter. Saturn? The next thing I know, a pair of warm arms catch me around the waist. I find myself staring up at Cross, pressed against his chest. His grasp loosens, but he doesn't quite let me go. Something shifts in his gaze. His eyes fix on my face, and I feel myself growing hot all over at his intense scrutiny. What does he see in me? What is he looking for? Why are you holding me so close? Can I back up now? Cross? Yes? You can let go. Are you quite sure? Someone else may stumble into you. This time I can feel the heat of his laughter, the way it flutters through his chest and mine. I actually not sure. My head swims. Cross's warmth and closeness washing over me. I shouldn't be this close. If I touch him by accident, if I somehow curse the man who saved my life. Good night, Saturn. He finally steps away, and I let out a breath I hadn't realized I've been holding. My character likes him. That's good. Good night. Thanks for everything today. You are most welcome. He turns and slips into the crowd, although I can pick out his pristine white coat with ease. A chilly gust howls down the street. When did it get so cold out? Ah, now that's interesting. Now, this is a really good way to choose my fate. But I'm already going down this way, so yeah. The repentant angel. From all appearances, Cross is a principled doctor of extraordinary skill. But you know little about the man beneath the professional mask, and Cross keeps even his friends at a cool distance. If you uncover his deepest secrets, will you like what you find? I'll confirm it. Thank you for playing. Oh yeah, so like, I guess that's it. But this is a very interesting game. Everyone has a secret, everyone has a past, and the bigger thing is, what the hell is this Cenobium doing? And you know what? Whenever this game fully releases, I'm definitely playing it. But here's their stuff right here, their website and their Twitter and Instagram ads, if you guys want to follow, because this is kind of cool. But either way, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me who's your favorite character out of this, because you've just seen which one I'm kind of pining for. And maybe leave a comment. But either way, I'll see you all in the next video. Okay? Bye.